Dichai, the main character, is just an average office worker, and he's already hit 38. This uncle enjoys diving deep into the gaming universe. In games, Dichai feels even an older man can transform into a youthful hero, achieving the impossible. Today, he's diving into a freshly launched game starting with account creation. After some consideration, he opts for the username Earth, as it translates to Earth in Japanese, crafting a character that exudes a supportive vibe. With his extensive gaming background, Dichai selects basic skills, knowing that flashy ones often come with drawbacks. Once everything is set up, he logs into the game for the very first time. The game is titled One More Free Life Online. Without a main quest, players can either hunt monsters endlessly or enjoy casual chats and a laid-back lifestyle. Upon arrival, Earth is welcomed by a merchant. Surveying his surroundings, he realizes he's the only archer. Suddenly, a player clad in golden armor collides with him, ridiculing Earth as a pathetic archer and giving him a kick. In this realm, bow users are often deemed worthless, but Earth brushes it off and heads to the training grounds. Initially, Earth struggles to hit the target with his bow, but he quickly identifies the issue and starts training diligently. After firing 100 arrows, he finally hits the target, reaching level 5 in the process. Alongside archery, Earth also practices wind magic and a close combat move known as flying kick. With these skills learned, Earth intends to venture into the monster field for a test run, but the crowd is overwhelming, so he opts to gather herbs in the plains instead. Freshly picked herbs remain unidentified, which proves to be quite challenging. Earth repeatedly fails to identify herbs, losing them due to his low level. While identifying herbs, he realizes that each type has unique effects. Some can even lead to player death if consumed, leaving him speechless at the developer's choices. After gathering ingredients and purchasing essential potion-making tools, Earth successfully brews basic recovery potions and antidotes for minor poisons. Though these potions are cheap from non-player characters, Earth prefers crafting them himself to enhance his skills. Moreover, once a recipe is unlocked, he can produce potions in bulk, saving time. Later, when the monster field is less populated, Earth decides it's time to hunt. The first creature he spots is a white rabbit sporting a horn. He quickly draws his bow, but misses the shot. Even if he had hit, the rabbit wouldn't have cared and would charge at him. Earth swiftly executes a flying kick, sending the rabbit soaring, then follows up with another kick, finishing it off. The loot consists of rabbit meat and skin. Impressed by Earth's skills, two other players approach him, clearly in awe. A young man with red hair, Zwei, bursts into laughter, having never seen a rabbit taken down by a kick before. He mimics the rabbit's death cry, rolling with laughter. Earth is puzzled by his reaction, while Millie, Zwei's companion, offers her apologies. Tu and Millie propose friendship, suggesting that with his talent, they could aim to be the top comedians. With no reason to decline, they form a team. After Y and Millie depart, Earth resumes hunting rabbits to sharpen his skills. This time, he employs wind magic to take down rabbits from afar, then uses stealth to surprise them. Earth never anticipated that blending tricky skills like archery with stealth would yield such success. Perhaps this will shape his growth moving forward. Since he has work tomorrow, Dichai logs off for some sleep. The next day, as soon as he logs back in, Earth grabs a piece of bread to quell his hunger. It tastes awful even for a game. The taste feature is still active. Earth decides to cook at home. His first attempt at rabbit steak turns out tough, so he carefully prepares the next piece, adding herbs for flavor. However, the system only rates his dish 5 points, leaving him dissatisfied. Earth experiments with different cooking techniques. The aroma wafts through the area, attracting a crowd eager to sample. Despite charging 20 times the price of NPC bread, everyone is eager to buy, forming long lines. After serving hundreds, Earth's cooking level hits 20, unlocking the speed cooking skill. Now, Earth needs to craft a new bow to replace his old one. Due to careful crafting, the bow he forges inflicts significantly more damage than basic gear. Once the bow is complete, Earth dashes to the market to purchase some gear. Having spent nearly all his earnings from selling rabbit meat on a new outfit, he needs to brew recovery potions for cash. Earth wields the 1,000-mile ice skill, granting him the ability to spot monsters from a distance. Identifying the monsters' locations, he activates stealth and swiftly approaches. With his newly crafted bow, Earth takes down a wolf in a single shot, then uses his other skills to dispatch all the monsters. Post-hunt, Earth feels a deep sense of satisfaction with his haul. Out of nowhere, a patch drops, making recovery potions hard to come by. Noticing the chaos in the neighborhood, Earth contacts Zwei and discovers that NPCs have run out of potions. 2 warns Earth to brace himself. Everyone will seek him out since he's the only one who can craft potions. Concerned about the influx of orders, Millie and Zwei arrive, offering to manage sales so Earth can concentrate on potion making. Eventually, Earth reports he's out of herbs and has only a handful of potions remaining. At that moment, the previously encountered player in golden armor approaches, demanding all of Earth's remaining potions. Earth insists he promised these potions to those waiting, but the player refuses and even strikes Zwei, inciting anger from Earth and the crowd. Earth warns him against violence, otherwise he'll become the target of everyone. Furious, the golden armored player challenges Earth to a duel. Despite warnings from onlookers about the player's strength, Earth can't overlook such arrogance. In an instant, they're teleported to the PvP arena, where the golden armored player continues to belittle Earth. As the opponent swings his sword, Earth swiftly dodges and counters with a flying kick. Exposing his weakness, Earth fires an arrow, securing victory in the duel. The defeated player's minions hastily carry their boss away, while Zwei and Millie, impressed by Earth's skills, invite him to join their guild. After bidding farewell, Earth logs out of the game to take a break. The golden armored player might have quit the game entirely due to this encounter. Days after the game update, players realize that NPCs can run out of stock, highlighting the value of potion making. Earth logs in as usual, greeted by Zwei and his guild, including a white-haired girl named Nora who specializes in melee combat. 2 cautions Earth not to comment on her slim figure or small chest. Next is Rigi, a tall tank, followed by a swordsman named Kazamine. After defeating the golden armored player, Earth's reputation has spread far and wide. Everyone is astonished that a chef wielding a seemingly useless bow could take down such a bully. Earth remains humble, attributing his victory to his opponent's lack of skill. After introductions, Earth notices the team's formation is a bit off, yet they exude confidence. Today's challenge for the team is a wild bear, a formidable monster that will pose a challenge. Zwei believes Earth can easily carry the team, and afterward, they can feast on his cooked bear meat. Despite Earth's insistence that he's never fought a bear, no one pays attention. They reach a shadowy forest where Earth uses his 1,000-mile skill to find bears gathering in groups. Suddenly, one bear strays away, prompting them to lure it to a different spot for easier handling. 2 instructs Millie to cast protection magic on him while Earth sneaks up on the bear. However, Earth's arrow fails to phase the bear, which angrily charges at him. Seeing his teammate in peril, Rigi rushes in and uses his taunt skill to divert the bear's attention. According to Earth's knowledge, monsters have a concept called hatred, and as a tank, Rigi can draw all the monster's ire. Taking advantage of this, Earth finds cover and begins his assault. While Rigi loses health, Millie stands behind him, continuously healing. The other teammates charge in to attack the bear, but its tough hide resists their swords. Noticing this, Millie switches from healing magic to fire magic, but it proves ineffective. With the bear's strength overwhelming, the team can only attempt to hold it back. Recognizing the dire situation, Earth draws on his 38 years of life experience to devise a plan. He nocks an arrow and aims for the bear's head, but it fails to penetrate deeply, only enraging the beast further. If this keeps up, his teammates will be defeated. Earth then unleashes his secret weapon, the wind magic skill, and charges at the bear. Though this skill lasts only 10 seconds, it's enough for him to close the distance and drive the arrow deeper. At last, Millie unleashes her fire magic, triumphing over the bear. The entire team exhales in relief after conquering the beast. Post-battle, the team eagerly anticipates Earth's cooking, prompting him to prepare a meat feast. Except for his companion, who's stuck with bread. Miura wonders if recipes are pricey, but Earth clarifies they aren't available for purchase. The truth is, crafting recipes demands significant time and effort. Moreover, a dish's tastiness hinges on the cook's skill, not merely the recipe. Thus, even if Earth shared his grilled meat recipe, no one else could replicate it perfectly. The team feels incredibly fortunate to have Earth among them. After the feast, Nora, Kazamine, and Ryaji approach Earth, sending him friend requests. The following day, Earth ventures into the forest alone to hunt monsters. Curiosity leads him into Forest Zone 5, teeming with high-level monsters. Earth spots a hornet and readies his bow, but misses, hitting a fire ant instead. This ant species possesses the ability to summon allies for a coordinated attack. Instead of fleeing, Earth charges forward, preparing to unleash a flying kick. However, just before he can kick, the ant's counterattack paralyzes him, leading to his defeat. Defeated, Earth is unceremoniously ejected from the game. In that moment, a notification from the publisher arrives, announcing a significant update and the Spirit Ball event. Along with new skills, spirit companions will be introduced to aid players. Following his defeat by the ants, Earth dedicates time to mastering blacksmithing. He aims to forge an arrow with exceptional penetration capable of piercing the ant's tough skin, along with a hammer-type arrow featuring a solid iron head. Additionally, Earth equips his shoes with weapons to amplify the damage of his flying kick against monsters. The passing blacksmith is baffled by Earth's actions, giving up as it's the first time he's seen someone craft weapons to enhance a kick. Not stopping there, Earth heads to the equipment vendor to purchase bowstrings, then acquires wood to craft a new bow. Earth realizes that all current bows have their flaws. Only hunting bows are user-friendly and effective. After some time, Earth figures out how to cross two sticks, prompting him to visit the forge and start crafting. The blacksmith is taken aback by Earth's unusual bow design, but appreciates his inventive spirit. After a long day, Earth finally completes an X-shaped bow with impressive attack power. He feels a pang of regret as he bids farewell to his old bow. The next day, Earth returns to the forest, seeking ants to test his new bow. Spotting his target, he draws his hammer-headed arrow and takes aim. Once the ant is stunned, he fires another arrow, swiftly defeating it. Thus, throughout the day, Earth eradicates all the ants in the forest. He also gathers a substantial amount of loot dropped by the ants. Their exoskeletons can be utilized to craft lightweight armor. After several days, the Spirit Ball event finally goes live. Earth aspires to bond with a wind element spirit, but during the ritual, his stone unexpectedly shatters. Everyone on the team has their own spirit, leaving Earth as the only one who fails. They reassure him, saying not to fret since the stone is merely broken, not entirely lost. However, the group begins to notice something peculiar. Earth seems to possess an unusual charm that draws all the spirits toward him. Could he be the fabled spirit playboy? Earth was napping in a grassy field when a spirit approached. Recently, spirits have been inexplicably drawn to Earth. Since his crystal broke, Earth has been unable to form a pact with them. Yet, in return, his skills have nearly reached their maximum level. Feeling significantly stronger, Earth decides to explore a dungeon for the first time. He feels a wave of nostalgia, having not explored caves like this in ages. After walking for a bit, he spots a spider lurking in the shadows. Without a moment's hesitation, he draws his bow and fires, also casting wind magic. He believed he could take down the spider, but it proves to be quite resilient. Earth aimed to utilize his newly acquired high jump technique for an attack, but the cave's ceiling was too low, resulting in a painful head bump. Instead, Earth opted to use a rope to draw the spider closer, finishing it off with the sharp blades on his shoes. Suddenly, a group of spirits emerged, guiding Earth on his path. Thanks to his skill in maintaining balance, he easily traversed a narrow rock ledge. Upon his arrival, Earth was taken aback by the large gathering of spirits. Intrigued, he approached and noticed an enormous stone. Earth curiously lifted the stone, revealing a concealed door. Inside, he found a chest that held an ancient ring. Uncertain of its significance, he decided to keep it as a memento. At that moment, a notification from the game publisher announced an upcoming spirit tournament. Players could now evolve their spirits and challenge one another. Winning would allow their spirits to transform into new forms. The top 16 competitors would qualify for the elimination round and earn enticing rewards. Moreover, numerous new features had been introduced. Players could now earn titles based on their gameplay style, and those unable to form packs could engage in PvP to restore their shattered crystals, with a chance to unlock rare spirits. After hearing about the event, excitement buzzed among all players. Earth pondered whether players would target craftsmen for challenges, but the blacksmith reassured him that no one would dare mess with them. He also noted that in Nexia Town, players were eager to engage in PvP. Meanwhile, in Fast Town, players preferred to increase their battle count at a more leisurely pace. A few days later, the Spirit Ball event was updated in the game. Earth felt a wave of embarrassment as his title, Spirit Enchanter, appeared above his head, attracting attention from other players. To get rid of this title, he needed to challenge someone to a PvP match. Fortunately, a player named Rona appeared and issued a challenge. Earth was taken aback that Rona recognized him. She was part of the Blue Colors Guild. Upon hearing Blue Colors, Earth immediately associated it with Xue's guild. When Rona discovered Earth could perform the flying kick skill, her desire to duel him intensified. Before the match commenced, Rona's spirit bird unexpectedly landed on Earth, seemingly enjoying his presence. It even declined Rona's duel request on his behalf. Rona was astonished, as this bird typically feared humans. It hadn't shown such behavior towards her. Other players whispered that Earth's title was undoubtedly authentic, causing them to hesitate in challenging him as their spirits refused. Earth felt resentment towards the game developers for bestowing this peculiar title upon him. After meeting Earth, Rona's spirit refused to eat anything, prompting her to ask him to prepare food for it. Not only Rona's spirit, but many others were facing the same dilemma. Earlier, a bald man had complained to Earth that his spirit wouldn't touch bread purchased from NPCs. Recognizing Earth's exceptional cooking abilities, he sought assistance, leading Earth to prepare a large batch of fried chicken, attracting a line of eager customers. Fortunately, Rona stepped in to help Earth manage the crowd. After the sales concluded, Rona invited Earth to explore Nexia Town. A PvP battle was underway there, drawing many players. It featured a combatant with a bird against another with a wolf. Earth quickly observed that the wolf was acting oddly. The battle commenced, with both fighters launching furious attacks, but the wolf refused to obey its master. This left him powerless, and seizing the moment, the opponent successfully fused with his bird spirit to defeat the wolf user. An investigation revealed that the player had mistreated his spirit, leading it to ignore his commands. Earth had previously watched videos detailing the consequences of mistreating spirits. Those players would be forced to own spirits, and upon defeat, their crystals would be confiscated, resetting all spirit-related data. The wolf user seemed aware of this, so he wasn't foolish enough to continue his harsh treatment. Feeling quite fatigued, Earth bid farewell to Rona and logged out. The following day, the wolf user from before sought out Earth. He revealed that he was aware of Earth's Spirit Enchanter title and sought his guidance, though Earth felt bitter about this title and hoped it wouldn't be mentioned. Through their conversation, Earth learned that the man had previously watched videos on training spirits like circus animals. He believed that beating spirits into submission would work, but now, facing the consequences warned in the videos, he turned to Earth for advice. Earth was advised to treat his spirit as a companion, engaging with it actively and offering praise. Only then could they coexist peacefully. He wished to apologize to his spirit and hoped Earth could whip up something tasty. Earth agreed, preparing crispy fried rabbit that scored an impressive 8 points, and he gently offered a piece to the man's wolf. Initially, the wolf was cautious, but the aroma of Earth's cooking was too tempting to resist. After the meal, the wolf's spirits lifted once more. Earth bid farewell to the man, reminding him to treat his spirit with care from that moment on. At this moment, a man named Silver, who had observed everything, sought a private conversation with Earth and led him to a quiet spot. Earth followed the elder to a tranquil house. His gear was impressive, indicating he was a high-ranking player. Silver got right to it, asking Earth if he had encountered a player named Glad, warning that Glad specifically targeted those with the Spirit Enchanter title like Earth. Silver elaborated that Glad had once been part of his team, but as he gained strength, he began to look down on others. However, during this event, Glad failed to bond with the spirit and unleashed his frustration on everyone. As the team leader, Silver had no choice but to expel him. Silver also introduced Earth to his Light Valkyrie, a stunning female-shaped spirit. He continued, explaining that in a recent update, Glad had formed a pact with a dark fox through a restored crystal and would likely flaunt his power at the event's final elimination round. He cautioned Earth to steer clear of Glad. After sharing his tale, Silver departed, but Earth felt the need to verify the information rather than accept it blindly. The following day, Earth resumed his hunting in a very remote area. He utilized his splitting skill to launch multiple arrows simultaneously. While the bear was blind to his presence, Earth swiftly lashed it with a rope and delivered a kick, bringing it down. After slaying the bear, Earth gathered numerous items and upgraded a skill called Double Strike. Next, he headed to the mine near Nexia Town to extract ore. He required a substantial amount of iron ore and light metals to forge weapons. While enthusiastically digging, Earth accidentally struck an explosive stone but managed to retrieve it. Its blast radius was so vast that a single misstep could have been deadly. That evening, Earth visited Blax to borrow his forge. Blax was thrilled to see him, assuming he was about to create something outrageous again. First, Earth melted the metals to forge new arrowheads and an iron whip. The arrowheads he intended to craft were spiral dagger types designed to penetrate deep into monster flesh. Working tirelessly until dawn, Earth successfully crafted arrows with unique effects. The next item on his agenda was a metal whip, which also demanded careful crafting. Thus, Earth dedicated another full day at the forge. Upon completion, he proudly displayed his creation to Blax. Though his hands were still fatigued, Earth made his way to the processing workshop to refine the explosive stone. The basement of the workshop resembled a laboratory. Even if the refining process failed, it wouldn't impact anyone else. Earth retrieved the explosive stone and began his research. Not being a scientist in real life, he found the task mentally draining. After experimenting with countless formulas, Earth finally concocted 3 distinct explosive potions. To determine which formula was the best, he ventured to a desolate, rocky area. The first vial fizzled upon impact with the ground, while the second detonated over a wide area, nearly taking Earth out. After consuming a recovery potion, Earth tested the final vial. Its explosion was precisely what he desired, prompting him to create more using this formula for bear hunting. By combining explosives with his newly crafted weapons, hunting became a breeze. Following the hunting expedition, Earth unlocked several new skills. The first was Continuous Arrow, enabling Earth to shoot arrows in succession. The next skill was Flight, allowing him to leap great distances using wind element power. That afternoon, Earth took the bear hides he had gathered to the tailor to craft a cloak that could mitigate damage from behind. Just then, the player's screen flashed a publisher announcement indicating the Spirit Challenge event had concluded. Zway's guild didn't perform well, resulting in none of them making the top 16. Glade and Silver emerged as the top contenders, prompting Earth to tune in for their showdown. The lively hall buzzed with gamers eager to witness the action. With his 1,000-mile ice technique, Earth realized many girls shared the Spirit Enchanter title like he did. Once the introductions wrapped up, the first match kicked off. Every match dazzled, showcasing experts wielding evolved spirits. Earth observed that when a player fell, light dots transferred from the defeated spirit to the victor. He found this phenomenon intriguing, even if its meaning eluded him. After numerous matches, the final battle was upon them. As anticipated, Silver and Glade faced off in this climactic duel. They intended to resolve all their grudges in this match. The fight commenced, both players launching swift attacks while their spirits exchanged techniques. Initially, Silver's Valkyrie appeared dominant, landing a hit on Glade. Seizing the moment, Silver charged in with Crescent Slash, but Glade evaded. Earth instantly recognized Glade's maneuver as wind magic, reminiscent of his own technique. While Silver was airborne, Glade unleashed Cross Slash, swiftly defeating both Silver and her spirit. In that instant, Glade's Dark Fox spirit evolved into a stunning girl. Yet the spirit showed no inclination to remain with Glade. This spirit revealed that the event aimed to choose the king of the spirit tribe, with the last spirit standing becoming king. Glade's spirit felt they were merely using one another. With this victory, Glade fulfilled his revenge against Silver, while she achieved her goal of becoming the Spirit Queen. Now that it was done, they should part ways. Listening to the spirit, Millie felt more like a real player than just an AI. Naturally, Glade opposed the idea of his spirit leaving. In response, the spirit offered Glade a chance. If he could defeat her in a duel, she would recognize his strength and stay. If he lost, she would leave, and he'd have to forfeit the tournament prize. The duel commenced with the Queen using an earthquake skill to immobilize Glade, followed by a barrage of spells. He swiftly dodged, using his flight ability closing in on the Queen, but she simply sidestepped and zapped him. Next, the Queen unleashed a series of techniques in rapid succession. Glade could only endure the onslaught due to the vast skill gap, and when he had just 1 GP left, the Queen chose to spare him, leaving the rest to Silver. As for the Queen, she summoned 3 players with the Spirit Enchanter title to reward them. All 3 were players she respected for not relying on spirits in battle. The other 2 girls received spirit level-ups as their reward. Earth's reward was a match against the Queen. Though he was confused about the situation, the Queen clarified that since he hadn't brought a spirit or participated, she couldn't reward him in the usual manner. Thus, she hoped Earth would enjoy the battle, as winning or losing would grant him some of her power. Of course, winning would yield greater power. As soon as Earth consented, the Spirit Enchanter title above him vanished, marking this as the event's true highlight. Before the duel began, Earth needed to gather the necessary tools. His opponent was the Spirit Queen, wielding formidable magic, especially the high explosion technique that had obliterated Glade. Earth's edge lay in having witnessed the Queen's fight, while she had never faced a bow user. Given the circumstances, Earth knew he had slim chances of victory, prompting him to consider unconventional tactics. The battle commenced, with Earth retreating to maintain distance, then using 70% of his power to gauge the Queen's strength. He realized he could counter her wind-cutting technique with his current power. At that moment, the Queen launched an attack, sending flames toward Earth, forcing him to evade. Earth shot an arrow through the flames, striking the Queen's shoulder. She recognized she had underestimated Earth's capabilities. Afterward, the Queen swiftly employed wind magic to close in on Earth, but he anticipated this and threw a vial of poison gas. The poison hindered the Queen's spellcasting, allowing Earth to hurl explosive potions at her, despite taking hits. The Queen regretted not restricting the items allowed earlier. In a flash, she raised a stone barrier around herself to shield against Earth's assault. Observing this, Earth quietly employed stealth, biding his time for the perfect strike. Inside, the Queen noticed the stillness and chose to lower the barrier for a surprise attack. Yet, as the wall fell, Earth was nowhere in sight. He swiftly ensnared her with chains, halting her spellcasting. Now, the Queen could only brace herself as Earth unleashed a barrage of arrows. Earth unleashed a flurry of techniques, including continuous strikes and splits, targeting the Queen. After a relentless 12-hit combo, Earth charged in with a decisive kick, leaving the Queen in disbelief at her swift defeat. Though he preferred to stay under the radar, Earth had just triumphed over the Spirit Queen, cheered on by a crowd. The Queen acknowledged her loss and promised to bestow him with power. However, she first requested Earth to hand over the Spirit King's ring and the Covenant Crystal. Combining these two artifacts, they morphed into a complete ring. The Queen drew Earth close, aiming to place the ring on him, but her attempt to fit it on his left ring finger startled him. Suspicious of her intentions, he hesitated to comply, prompting her to use enhancement magic to secure the ring on him. Once donned, this ring could never be removed. Additionally, it belonged to the 87th generation Spirit Queen, imbued with immense power and authority, indestructible. Following their encounter, Earth's battle against the Spirit Queen was featured on the game's official site. Players began to view bows and wind magic in a new light, leading to a surge of interest in these skills. Earth gained notoriety. To avoid the spotlight, he slipped away to a remote area to enjoy the game. Unbeknownst to him, the ring on his finger served as a teleportation beacon, allowing the Spirit Queen to reach him at will. Earth playfully tapped the Queen on the head for her constant antics and neglect of her realm. After her defeat, the Fairy Queen now referred to him as her cherished husband. She encouraged him to experiment with the new magic spells that could only be activated while wearing the ring. Taking his wife's advice, Earth ventured into the forest and captured a bear for testing. As he recited the incantation, his mana reserves were instantly drained. A brilliant light enveloped the bear, resulting in a massive explosion that turned it to stone in an instant. After trying out all the new abilities, Earth returned to his original location to start cooking. The aroma of the food was so enticing that the Fairy Queen attempted to sneak a taste, only to receive another tap on the head from Earth, who forbade her from touching items meant for sale. The Fairy Queen began to grumble about the constraints of being a queen. She had to cater to her subjects and bear the weight of the entire kingdom. Moreover, the kingdom's cuisine was perpetually sweet, so monotonous, yet Earth was stingy over a single morsel. At that moment, a blue-haired individual named Neither approached, looking to stir up trouble with Earth. He introduced himself as a member of the Apollo Guild, dedicated to rescuing oppressed archers. Earth quickly grasped his recruitment intentions and flatly declined, then departed with the Fairy Queen. As dusk approached, Earth suggested the Fairy Queen return to her kingdom, but she stubbornly refused. Only after he tempted her with food did she reluctantly agree to head back. The following morning, Earth visited the forge to craft new weapons and found a crowd gathered. Thanks to Earth's rising fame, they were eager to witness his weapon crafting process. Earth resolved to remake all of his weapons. First, he enhanced his bow with superior materials, significantly boosting its attack power. Next, he swapped his iron shoes for golden ones and repositioned the blades from the sides to the front like claws. Once completed, Earth showcased a few kicks, leaving the onlookers in awe. Finally, he visited the craftswomen to collect the bear skin cloak he had previously ordered. At that moment, Earth received a letter from the leader of the Apollo Guild. He needed to meet IAAM to discuss the matter. Upon arrival, IAM expressed regret for Neither's intrusion and for using Earth's name without consent to recruit players. IAM had also witnessed Earth's battle with the Fairy Queen and viewed him as her beacon of hope. She wished for him to take a more active role to change how other players perceived archers. Earth preferred to keep his distance from too many people. He simply wanted to enjoy the game casually, but his skills had drawn the attention of the game publisher. The following day, Zwei and Millie arrived on Earth to talk about the upcoming update. A strange effect was introduced in the game when a player's health dropped below 25%. Players would experience a broken hand effect, rendering them unable to wield weapons. Moreover, the dungeon challenges received updates in this version. Dungeons would be randomly generated after each challenge, filled with traps and monsters for players. At that moment, a promotional video played on the screen, inviting players to join Zwei's team's hunting expedition against the Fairy Queen. Following that, Earth began preparations to explore the new dungeon. If he kept dodging, he would encounter numerous challenges later, so using a shield became essential. Additionally, Earth figured out how to use a shield and bow together to take down monsters. After battling the monsters, Earth returned to the forge to craft new weapons. This time, Earth aimed to create a compound bow inspired by a real-world design. However, he first needed to construct a complete shield from ant armor, then attach the compound bow to its back for combat support. Once crafted, Earth tested the new shield and felt quite pleased. From this point on, he wouldn't have to worry about the broken hand effect. A few days later, the long-awaited update finally launched. Like other players, Earth eagerly ventured into the dungeon to explore. Numerous merchants were present, selling potion bottles. At that moment, a group of players dressed as superheroes began acting foolishly. However, according to the movie model, this superhero team should consist of 6 members. But today, the black superhero had a stomachache, so they invited Earth to join them in conquering the dungeon. Earth realized he couldn't delve deep into the dungeon alone, so he agreed to join them. As they entered the first floor, the red superhero suggested splitting up, but Earth halted him. Using his 1,000-mile ice skill, he detected 15 traps on this floor, including 4 that would result in instant death. If they wandered aimlessly, they would surely perish. So Earth volunteered to scout ahead. The superhero team followed Earth, feeling fortunate to have him on their side. Indeed, he was living up to his reputation as the Fairy Queen's husband. After avoiding the traps, the superhero team declared they would take the lead, but their movement resembled that of crabs. Eventually, they stumbled upon a group of skeleton monsters armed with shields and swords. The 5 superheroes charged in and swiftly defeated all the monsters. Impressed by their skills, Earth felt he could hang back and alert them about traps. Finally, they reached the path to the second floor, having spent too much time disarming traps on the first floor, and with only an hour limit in the dungeon, time was running out. The superhero squad quickly conquered the second floor. On the third floor, they faced evil spirits and skeleton legions. The 5 superheroes fought alongside Earth's support, easily dispatching the monsters. After some combat, they arrived at the entrance to the 4th floor. 40 minutes had passed, making it impossible to reach the final floor. Earth believed they could at most reach the 5th floor before entering the 4th. Earth sensed a deadly aura. Suddenly they heard cries for help coming from behind a door. In the name of justice, the red superhero rushed to kick down the door to rescue the victim. Once they all entered, the door slammed shut behind them. Earth realized they had fallen into a containment trap. They wouldn't escape until all the monsters inside were defeated using his 1,000-mile ice skill. Earth found no traps in this room, allowing them to fight freely. The 5 superheroes unleashed a flurry of colorful skills, quickly vanquishing all the monsters. The reward for this room was a massive chest. The superhero with a bandaged head was about to open it when Earth intervened, warning it might be a trap. The bandaged guy assumed Earth was trying to prevent him from claiming the chest for himself, arguing that with his thief skill, he would have sensed a trap. Earth, noticing the stubbornness, decided to say no more. If he wanted to open it, he should wait until everyone else exited the room. The 5 superheroes hesitated to leave the chest behind, but ultimately followed Earth's advice. The room was actually a double trap, one using monsters to defeat players, and the other appealing to their greed. The moment they exited, the door slammed shut, leaving only the cries of the bandaged man echoing inside. With their dungeon exploration time expired, they found themselves teleported outside. Curiosity sparked among the 5 superheroes about the skills of Earth. Clearly, the other individual possessed the thief skill, but failed to notice the trap. Since it was their initial encounter, Earth opted for vague responses, having significantly aided them in conquering the dungeon. The 5 superheroes aimed to befriend him, hoping to explore dungeons together in the future. His trap-breaking speed was still sluggish, so Earth headed to the forge to craft a tool to enhance his thief abilities. Unfortunately, the lock-picking tool was either too fragile and broke easily, or too thick to use. Noticing this, the blacksmith offered his skills to assist Earth in refining it. Beholding the robust lock-picking tool, Earth felt immense joy and expressed his gratitude to Blacks. On his way home, the Fairy Queen appeared out of nowhere, surprising Earth. She had come to distribute Covenant crystals to new adventurers. Feeling exhausted from her duties, the Fairy Queen requested a kiss from Earth, but he playfully tapped her head, reminding her they weren't married. After bidding farewell to Earth, the Fairy Queen returned to her realm. The following morning, Earth set out to gather materials for crafting numerous arrows in preparation for the dungeon. Suddenly, the Fairy Queen reappeared, looking worn out. It turned out some lewd adventurers had flirted with her, prompting her to gather them, summon an arena, and give them a severe beating. Despite their injuries, they viewed it as a reward, which left the Queen utterly drained. Feeling sympathy for the Fairy Queen, Earth listened as she asked him to pat her head and sign their marriage registration. Earth was at a loss for words, but to make her happy, he steamed a batch of buns for her. After enjoying the meal, the Fairy Queen lay on his lap, beaming with gratitude for her beloved husband. Recognizing her tough day, Earth decided to pamper her a bit. After crafting new tools, Earth spent the entire day alone in the dungeon, breaking locks to enhance his thief skill. This task proved challenging, leading to frequent failures and even deaths. After many such days, Earth's thief skill finally hit level 50, allowing it to evolve into a higher tier skill, granting extra rewards for defeating monsters. At this moment, Earth received a message from the superhero team inviting him to join them in conquering a dungeon. It turned out the black superhero shared a keen interest in lockbreaking and was eager to meet Earth. They were in sync, coordinating their efforts seamlessly. That day, they entered the dungeon solely to disarm traps, ignoring the monsters. After numerous training sessions with the black superhero, Earth's trap-breaking success rate soared. Earth also began to recognize the monster behavior patterns within this dungeon. Typically, they moved in groups towards sources of light. Thus, Earth utilized his 1,000-mile eye skill to navigate in darkness, avoiding monster encounters. This strategy saved him considerable time, allowing him to delve deeper into the dungeon. Eventually, Earth reached the entrance of the 9th floor, with each exploration limited to 1 hour. He had only 5 minutes remaining. According to the superhero team, a perilous monster named Lick awaited on this floor, capable of summoning smaller creatures, complicating any battle. Thus, he needed to evade this monster to access the 10th floor. However, numerous traps lay in wait before the entrance to the 10th floor. If he attempted to disarm all the traps, time would run out, so Earth activated his flight skill to leap over them. Though he triggered a few traps, Earth pressed on and successfully reached the 10th floor. Upon arriving at the 10th floor, the time counter halted immediately. Though confused by the situation, Earth finally exhaled in relief. At that moment, Earth became the first individual to reach the 10th floor. While descending, he heard a voice belonging to a man named Andre, who claimed to be an Imperial Knight. The stairs were lengthy, and he wanted Earth to listen to his tale. Previously, Andre and his team had been tasked with investigating the labyrinth, but they all perished due to the traps and monsters. Andre was the sole survivor, continuing on to the deepest chamber. However, that chamber was empty, devoid of even air, leading to Andre's demise and transformation into a skeleton knight guarding the labyrinth. Andre mentioned he had destroyed that chamber to spare others from suffering his fate. Andre wished for Earth to confront him and defeat him. He fought hard to keep his humanity intact, resisting the monster within. If Earth could be vanquished, it would free him to reunite with his allies. The tale concluded, the stairs vanished, and Earth plummeted downward. Upon waking, Earth found Andre before him, but his mind was lost, transformed into a beast. Earth loosed an arrow at Andre, but with a skeletal frame, he felt nothing. Andre moved with incredible speed, nearly landing a hit on Earth. His swiftness was matched by the force of his strikes, making Earth reconsider his defensive strategy. Seizing an opening, Earth hurled a fire flask to ignite Andre before launching an attack. But Andre swiftly countered, unleashing a wind blade that shattered Earth's grip on his bow. Switching to a compound bow, Earth struggled to land a shot. After a tough battle, Andre's shield struck Earth, paralyzing him completely. Andre approached with a calm demeanor, ready to finish the job. Just as Andre swung, Earth's stun wore off, allowing him to dodge and retaliate with a kick. Earth trapped Andre in flames, activating the ring on his hand, but the spell took too long to cast. Before Andre could strike again, Earth completed his incantation. A sphere of light emerged, and Earth hoped for victory, but only parts of Andre turned to stone. Out of nowhere, the Fairy Queen's phantom emerged from the ring, casting a spell that fully petrified Andre. Grateful to the Fairy Queen, Earth rushed to retrieve his bow, bombarding Andre with arrows and finishing with explosive potions. In that moment, Andre reverted to his human form just as he was in life. With his remaining moments, Andre expressed gratitude to Earth for helping him achieve his wish. His past battles had been dull, so he had low expectations of solo players. Before vanishing, Andre gifted Earth his knight's sword as a sign of appreciation. Shortly after, Andre's comrades arrived to escort him away. He thanked Earth once more before ascending to the afterlife with his friends. As soon as Andre vanished, a notification went out to all players announcing the first event boss's defeat. Earth realized many more bosses awaited him in this event, and Andre's sword was now part of his arsenal. Back at the forge, Earth needed to find a way to repair his weapons. Unfortunately, the chain was too damaged to fix, and both the bow and shield were in bad shape. Still, Earth felt a surge of joy having brought Andre's knight's sword home. During this time, a new character for the event was introduced. The following day, Zwai's team invited Earth to join their dungeon expedition. Today, Nora and Kazumine were unable to join. Earth noticed Millie was the only healer, raising concerns about the dungeon's dangers. However, they mentioned a new healer was on the way. Her name was Alyssa, known for her strong personality and abrasive language. With no other healer available, they reluctantly accepted her. Just then, Alyssa arrived, exuding arrogance. Upon seeing Earth, she ridiculed him as a weak archer, questioning his skills. Earth brushed it off and invited Alyssa into the dungeon to showcase his abilities. Earth's lock-breaking skills were top-notch, allowing them to reach the 5th floor quickly. Zwei suggested a break, but Alyssa insisted they keep moving due to time constraints. From this point onward, caution was essential, as traps and dangerous monsters like lesser liches awaited. Suddenly, Earth received a warning about a horde of monsters approaching, 12 in total, including 4 lesser liches. With all paths blocked, they had no choice but to stand their ground. Meanwhile, Millie stayed back, providing support with her spells. Alyssa was so terrified by the monsters that she couldn't hear Zwei's instructions, while Earth fired arrows at the foes. With teamwork, they successfully overcame the first wave of monsters. At this moment, the first lesser lich emerged. Ryaji used his taunt skill to draw its attention, allowing his teammates to strike. The first lich fell, but Ryaji's hand had turned to stone, leaving him immobile. The last 3 charged in, desperately launching their attacks. Alyssa knew that if she didn't unpetrify Ryaji quickly, they were all doomed, but fear kept her silent. At the same time, Zwei's team was depleting their mana reserves. Suddenly, Earth appeared, bringing 3 explosive potions to fend off the monsters. Finally, Alyssa found her courage and successfully freed Ryaji, enabling him to join the fight. After a tough battle, they defeated all the lesser liches, but Alyssa's constant complaints about Earth's pace frustrated Zwei, and even Millie, witnessing their bickering, grew irritated and demanded they act appropriately. Realizing her mistake, Alyssa sincerely apologized to Earth, who, of course, took it lightly and encouraged her. Though they didn't reach the final floor this time, Zwei expressed gratitude to Earth for his support. Earth bid farewell to everyone and left, unaware that a girl had been watching him from behind. The girl from yesterday visited Earth's home alone, her kimono, pointed ears, and dragon-like horns catching attention. Earth suspected she wasn't a player. She introduced herself as the Fairy Queen's sister, claiming she came to claim a kiss. In response, Earth playfully tapped her on the head, just like he did with her sister. Indeed, they were siblings. She had come because her sister praised Earth's cooking, and she wanted to try it. However, Earth declined, as he intended to visit the equipment shop today instead of staying home. Upon hearing this, she insisted on accompanying Earth, seizing the chance to explore the streets. Today, Earth aimed to ask the shop owner to repair his cloak, which had suffered significant damage in battles. The shop owner suggested that Earth create a new cloak, so he left behind the skin and fur of wild bears. The shop owner was thrilled and immediately confirmed the order, as this cloak would incorporate silver metal. The labor costs would be higher than usual. Earth agreed and promised to return in a few days to collect it. The Fairy Queen's sister was delighted that Earth had completed his task, as she would finally get to enjoy his cooking. Back at home, Earth showcased his culinary skills by serving the Fairy Queen's sister a rabbit steak infused with herbs. She tasted a piece, praised it endlessly, then devoured 3 plates, thanking Earth for the delicious meal. Earth inquired if she was a spirit, but she declined to answer. For specific reasons, she couldn't disclose her name either. The Queen's sister allowed Earth to call her whatever he wished, so he nicknamed her Ryo due to her dragon-like horns. Ryo beamed with joy and promised to visit frequently. At that moment, an important notification was sent to players by the publisher. That evening, Earth headed to the forge to discuss the afternoon's announcement with the blacksmith. The announcement stated that players would soon be able to reset their upgrade skills from scratch. Initially, Earth intended to focus on boosting his attack stats, but recalling how his other skills brought joy to others, he decided to leave everything unchanged. After a few days, the armor Earth had commissioned was finished, thanks to the extra metal. Its defensive capabilities had significantly improved. The handicraft shop owner offered to buy back Earth's old armor, but he declined. That armor had been with Earth for ages. Parting with it would bring him great regret. On his way home, Earth encountered the Fairy Queen, along with several other spirits. The Fairy Queen needed to speak with Earth, so she erected a barrier to isolate them from the outside world. The Fairy Queen expressed her apologies to Earth, explaining that he would never be able to form pacts with spirits. Earth believed he was disliked by the spirits, but in reality, 80% of the Spirit Kingdom's inhabitants wished to form a pact with him. Thus, if any spirit bonded with Earth, they would be envied, causing chaos throughout the kingdom. Although Earth was taken aback by this revelation, he understood the Fairy Queen's predicament. In exchange, she promised to grant him equivalent power. The Fairy Queen took Earth's hand and bestowed upon him 2 skills from the era of the previous Spirit King. The first was the 7 Lost Stars skill, enabling Earth to fire 7 consecutive arrows, inflicting massive damage. The second was the Sacrifice Bow skill, which, when activated, sacrifices 90% of the player's health and 100% of their mana, allowing them to unleash a powerful arrow. However, this sacrifice skill is extremely perilous, so the Fairy Queen advised Earth to reserve it for dire situations. Additionally, the Fairy Queen revealed that soon the Spirit Kingdom map would be updated, allowing players to visit. She sincerely hoped Earth would come to her realm to play. Before the spirits departed, Earth gifted them some treats, primarily food. He mused that the upcoming journey to the spirit realm would undoubtedly be thrilling. The following day, Earth gathered his entire team for a meal at his place. While preparing the meat, Earth shared insights about the gaming campaigns available. At present, 4 distinct VR games were competing in the market. Each game, vying for players, had its own promotional campaign. In just a few days, the publisher would enhance the Spirit Kingdom in their game. Yet, the delicious food Earth prepared distracted everyone from his words. Zwei attempted to sneak a bite, only to receive a smack from Earth. To keep focus, Earth handed his fan to Nora, instructing her to whack Zwei if he misbehaved. With a surge in players expected, guilds would be on the hunt for new recruits. Nora believed Zwei's team should also expand, aiming for a balanced size. First, they needed to retrain Alyssa, otherwise she'd bully everyone. Zwei recalled how Earth had once saved her and wanted to invite him to join. Earth declined again. His freedom to do as he pleased remained his top priority. Suddenly, Rue seemed to catch a whiff of the food and slipped into Earth's home. She attempted to snatch a piece of meat, but was swiftly smacked by Earth. Everyone was puzzled by Rue's presence, speculating that Earth had grown tired of the Fairy Queen and found a new love. To clear the air, Earth shot arrows at Ryuji and Zwei, dispelling the rumors. The group whispered among themselves, clearly suspecting a connection between Earth and the girl, especially since he called her Little Rue. Rue overheard and declared that only Earth had the privilege to call her that. Days later, the Spirit Kingdom map was finally refreshed in the game. The only way to reach it was to join the throng of players heading to the northern fortress. Upon arrival, the guard insisted on inspecting the ring Earth wore. Recognizing the ring, the guard acknowledged Earth as the Queen's esteemed guest and sent a blue bird named Pakasha to greet him. Pakasha was a rare bird. Only a select few spirits could ride, and seeing Earth on it piqued the curiosity of other players. As he climbed onto Pakasha, Earth marveled at its luxurious feathers. Before long, it soared upward, heading directly to the kingdom's heart, where the Queen's castle stood. After hours of continuous flight, they finally reached their destination. The castle gates swung open, revealing the Queen and others waiting to greet Earth. Inside the Fairy Queen's castle, Earth performed the rituals with utmost seriousness, kneeling and bowing to honor Her Majesty. The Queen announced a small parade that evening, with Earth as the star, hoping he would enjoy it. Riding Pakasha, Earth traversed the streets amidst a sea of cheers despite his usual aversion to the spotlight. Today's atmosphere felt joyous, even if it was just a virtual world. Not everyone could savor this experience, so he intended to relish every moment. The next morning, Earth visited the palace where the Fairy Queen resided, pondering if yesterday's ceremony was too lavish. It turned out rumors were circulating that the Queen aimed to monopolize Earth, prompting her to showcase him for the sake of fairness. However, the Fairy Queen mused that since she had the reputation, she might as well monopolize Earth, only holding back when reminded by her aide. Earth also expressed his desire to explore the Spirit Kingdom as a mere adventure starting tomorrow. After the audience, Earth wandered the palace corridors and bumped into the Fairy Queen. She inquired about his plans, and he replied he was searching for an inn to rest. The Queen invited him to stay in her room, fully aware of her ulterior motives. Earth bolted. If he and the Queen were to engage in anything, it would surely spark a war. After leaving the royal city, Earth rode Pakasha to a southern fortress town far from Nexia, where fewer players roamed. There, he found a tavern to accept commission quests and rented a room as a temporary base. After a day of quests, Earth needed to cook to quell his hunger. Using the available ingredients and his exceptional cooking skills, he prepared dishes so delectable that customers upstairs came hoping for a taste. Thus, Earth found himself playing chef once more, cooking for everyone. Life continued peacefully for Earth. By day, he hunted monsters and completed quests. By night, he returned to the tavern to cook and enjoy drinks with everyone. One day, the waitress rushed in, urging Earth to hide quickly. A notorious figure was on the hunt for him. This girl was the foolish daughter of the fortress manager. She had heard tales of a chef with remarkable skills and aimed to capture Earth as her personal cook. To shield Earth, the tavern owner fabricated a story about urgent business, claiming he had gone east. Upon hearing this, the fortress manager's daughter commanded her team to investigate adventurers heading east, insisting they must capture that chef no matter what. Once she departed, the tavern owner let out a sigh of relief. She confessed to Earth that the Fairy Queen had instructed her to feign ignorance and keep an eye on him. The earlier girl had been spoiled by her father, leading to her troublesome behavior, as she didn't want to add to anyone's troubles. Earth resolved to leave this place, though a twinge of regret lingered. His time with everyone had brought him joy. That night, Earth exited the tavern using the cover of the obscured moon. He reached the city gate, but was halted by the guards. The two guards were aware of the girl and her numerous reckless actions. They were gathering proof of her misdeeds to present to the kingdom, advising Earth to make his escape beyond the gate. An elderly spirit awaited him, drawn by Earth's exceptional cooking. He chose to assist Earth as a gesture of gratitude. Meanwhile, in the royal city, reports of the fortress manager's daughter's misconduct towards adventurers reached the Queen, infuriating her since Earth was involved. The following day, the old spirit named Zetten transported Earth to a town in the Spirit Kingdom renowned for its artistic endeavors. The music resonating everywhere filled Earth with the town's vibrancy, but his lack of sleep from the previous day left him exhausted. Zetten guided him to a familiar inn. After bidding farewell to Zetten, Earth finally found a chance to rest. The next day, upon logging back into the game, Earth felt something was off when his character remained immobile. He assumed it was a glitch, but when he pulled back the covers, he discovered the Fairy Queen waiting beside him. Earth quickly feigned sleep, but the Fairy Queen caught him. He hoped she would let him go. Misunderstandings could easily arise if others saw them together. However, the queen pouted and firmly refused to let him go. At that moment, the innkeeper heard commotion in the room, thinking Earth had woken up and wanted to invite him for breakfast, only to find them both in bed. Believing Earth had brought a girl home, Zetten's curiosity got the better of him, and he rushed in to see. Upon realizing the girl was the queen, both were taken aback. Even Ryu showed up, visibly jealous of her sister monopolizing Earth. In truth, the fairy queen had come to apologize for the earlier incident. The fortress manager's daughter and her soldiers faced appropriate punishment, summoned to an arena for mental torment to deter future offenses. Additionally, the queen had demoted them all to the lowest rank. Moreover, Earth was cherished by the locals, so there was no chance he would harbor resentment toward this kingdom. Thus, the queen felt completely reassured. Hearing this, the fairy queen beamed and attempted to embrace Earth, only to be playfully smacked on the head by her sister Rue, who dragged her home by the ear. Afterward, the queen and Rue bid farewell to everyone as they returned to the palace. Seeing Earth mingling with such notable figures left the innkeeper and Zetten in awe. The innkeeper shared that in the past, the spirit tribe had clashed with other races. If word got out that Rue from the dragon tribe was here, chaos would ensue in this town. Having just woken up to such unpleasantness, Zetten wished for a different kind of trouble, one where beautiful women pursued him, but a girl entered looking for Zetten. Her daughter had gone missing, and she hoped Zetten could assist. Earth welcomed the girl in for a chat. Through their discussion, they discovered she was Karen Fenrir. Her daughter typically woke early for morning walks, but today she had not returned home for longer than usual. Worried, Karen set out to search, but couldn't locate her daughter anywhere. Fearing the worst, Karen handed Earth and Zetten a photo of Mina, hoping they could help find her daughter with a generous reward. Naturally, Earth invited Zetten to take on this task, promising to help the old man repay the favor of carrying him all night. The two approached the gate guards to learn the direction Karen's daughter had taken. They had traveled quite a distance, but still hadn't found her. At this point, Earth noticed some monsters drawing near. Zetten and he dispatched them effortlessly with a single blow. However, after searching for a long time without success, Earth had to widen the search area. He spotted signs of a monster pack along with another person. Earth quickly mounted Zetten and sped towards the scene. Indeed, the girl in front was the daughter of Karen. Earth handed Zetten a potion, instructing him to break the siege and apply it to Mina while he provided backup. With a single charge, Zetten easily dispatched the goblins, then tossed the recovery potion to Mina, and together they vanquished all the monsters. Once the goblins were defeated, Mina expressed her gratitude to both of them for rescuing her. Zetten replied that formalities weren't necessary. They were merely fulfilling her mother's request. Earth introduced himself and inquired why she hadn't transformed into a wolf to fight. Mina explained that a delightful scent had drifted by, disorienting her. By the time she realized what was happening, goblins had surrounded her, preventing her transformation. Upon hearing this, Earth handed Mina an antidote potion, urging her to drink it. After consuming it, Mina quickly regained her ability to transform, aware of the danger she faced. Earth instructed her to hop onto Zetten and head back first. He planned to rest for a moment, but as soon as Zetten departed, Earth turned to the figure hiding in the grass. Noticing him standing firm, Earth hurled an explosive potion into the grass, forcing the figure to flee from the heat. Earth realized this person wasn't a player, and letting him escape could jeopardize human-spirit relations. The man lunged at Earth with a knife, but Earth dodged and retaliated with a kick, sending him crashing face-first to the ground. In this realm, both the spirit tribe and dragon tribe must coexist harmoniously. Earth would not forgive anyone who instigated conflict. Upon returning to the forest, Earth found Zetten and Mina still waiting. They had remained to ensure Earth dealt with the villain before heading home together. Seeing her daughter safe, Karen expressed her thanks to Earth and Zetten, offering them payment. However, Earth noticed Mina was quite taken with Zetten, prompting him to suggest Karen facilitate their closeness. Mina readily agreed, fulfilling Zetten's desire to be admired by a beautiful girl. As soon as he entered his room, Earth summoned the fairy queen using his ring. The queen assumed he was about to confess his feelings, only to receive a light smack on the head from Earth. Earth explained Mina's predicament to the fairy queen. Concerned about potential conflicts between spirits and humans, the queen thanked him for his timely help. Since she was already in his room, she suggested they share a bed, but it took considerable persuasion for her to agree to leave. The following morning, Earth checked out to return to the human settlement. At that moment, Zeton also made his way down. Noticing his expression, Earth realized they had become a couple. He offered his blessings to them and set off on his journey. Earth called upon his trusty assistant Pakasha and flew back to the human town, careful to avoid drawing attention. He requested a landing at the city gate. To show his appreciation, Earth prepared a feast for Pakasha, which it devoured happily before gifting him a feather. Earth bid farewell to Pakasha and headed to the forge to maintain his gear. He also reinforced his bow with metal to enhance its striking power. Earth ventured into the monster field to test his new bow's strength when he received a notification that the Dungeon Challenge event had concluded. They intended to reward those who made notable contributions with a special tournament exclusively for those who defeated hidden bosses, offering high-stat equipment as prizes. However, Earth preferred not to showcase his abilities in front of everyone, so he declined the invitation. Suddenly, he heard cries emanating from the forest. As he approached, he discovered 4 unconscious individuals with a baby dragon crying in their midst. Hearing the cries from the forest, Earth rushed over to find a baby dragon wailing, unsure of what had transpired. The sight of the 4 lifeless bodies made Earth realize the gravity of the situation, but leaving the dragon behind would weigh on his conscience, so he picked it up. Noticing it appeared hungry, Earth pulled out a piece of meat for it to munch on. Though he felt sympathy for it, taking the dragon would draw unwanted attention. For now, Earth decided to prioritize the dragon's hunger before addressing the other issue. Surprised by its appetite, he watched as the dragon devoured the food and then promptly fell asleep. Seizing the moment, Earth summoned the Fairy Queen with his ring to discuss how to proceed. Upon seeing the dragon, she was visibly startled, puzzled as to why a red dragon would be present. The Fairy Queen clarified that the dragon tribe and the dragon race were entirely distinct. Both possessed immense power, but while the dragon race, like Ryu, had learned to control their abilities to coexist with others, the dragon tribe chose to forsake control and sever all ties. The red dragon was a powerhouse, a symbol of its kingdom. Kidnapping this baby would infuriate the dragon tribe. Suddenly, a subordinate of the Fairy Queen appeared, warning her that red dragons were on their way and urged her to retreat. The sight of the red dragon stunned the subordinate, who thought the queen had foolishly taken one, prompting her to clarify that Earth had found it. In an instant, 2 massive red dragons soared into the sky, heading straight for Earth. Upon landing, the dragons assumed that Earth and the Fairy Queen were responsible for their child's abduction. The dragon interrupted the Fairy Queen as she attempted to explain. Earth stated that the kidnapper was already dead and that he was merely caring for the dragon. The father dragon demanded that Earth return his child. If Earth had any guts, he would trust his words. Without a moment's pause, Earth placed the baby dragon on the father dragon's foot. The dragon tribe can perceive their offspring's memories through contact, so the father dragon realized Earth was only caring for his child and apologized. The father dragon expressed his desire to grant Earth a wish. Earth wished that this incident would clear the dragon tribe's suspicions of the spirit kingdom. He also wanted to keep their meeting confidential, preferring to stay under the radar. The 2 dragons agreed to Earth's requests and took off. The Fairy Queen felt immense gratitude for Earth's consideration of the spirit kingdom's interests. To show her appreciation, she invited Earth to her castle, but he preferred to seek more commissions in town. The Fairy Queen summoned Pakasha to accompany him. Upon reaching town, Earth found no commissions available, as many human adventurers had already taken them. The innkeeper suggested that Earth could work for her, so he ended up as a waiter that evening. After a long day of serving and cleaning dishes, Earth finally received his pay. It was time for him to unwind. Meanwhile, the game publisher was astonished that a player could make the Fairy Queen laugh, while the dragon races felt envious. The next morning, Earth lay in a grassy field. Reflecting on his journey in this game, he realized he had created countless memories and gained recognition. In reality, his job kept him extremely busy, leaving no time for exercise, and his body had weakened as a result. However, in this world, Earth could do things he couldn't in real life. This thought brought tears to his eyes, stirring deep emotions. He thought of the friends he had made here and vowed to cherish them always. As he passed through Cezanna town, the Fairy Queen summoned him for a meeting. Initially, the Queen joked that she called him just to see him. But in truth, she needed his help with a young man from the dragon tribe. This young man was a blue dragon capable of controlling the wind. Though weaker than other dragon tribes, the blue dragons were more agile and could shift into human form. He had come because the red dragon lady Earth saved recently had suddenly become a finicky eater. If she continued to eat only half her usual amount, she wouldn't grow to be as magnificent as other dragons. To make matters worse, she insisted the blue dragon teach her how to transform into a human. Earth recalled that when he cared for the little dragon lady, she had a hearty appetite. The fairy queen deduced that Earth's cooking must have been too delicious. Now, the little lady had lost her taste for other foods. The blue dragon was intrigued and wanted to sample Earth's cooking. After tasting, he understood why their little lady was dissatisfied with the food from their kingdom. Earth was furious at being thrust into the role of an unwilling chef. The blue dragon apologized and asked if Earth could cook a bit for him to take back. Earth claimed he was out of ingredients, prompting the blue dragon to dash off in search of some. That afternoon, Earth prepared a box filled with food for the blue dragon to take back to the little lady. This might just make the dragon tribe more amicable towards the spirit tribe. After wrapping up his tasks, Earth was about to head back to his inn when the fairy queen stopped him. She had arranged a room for him to rest, but Earth declined, knowing she would sneak in at night. So, he bid her farewell and hurried away. In the dragon tribe, the little lady devoured all the food Earth had prepared. It appeared she had developed a fondness for his culinary creations. The nearby dragons were taken aback, not anticipating Earth to have such skills. For several days in a row, the blue dragon attempted to replicate Earth's flavors, but failed miserably. Thus, he resolved to seek the king's approval to learn cooking techniques from Earth. Earth had just entered the game when he discovered the fairy queen clinging to him. He instinctively struck her, causing her head to swell, yet she still wanted to snooze a bit longer. Consequently, Earth had to bind her with rope. As Earth stepped onto the street, he was greeted like a celebrity. Eager to avoid the spotlight, he quickly slipped away. Out of nowhere, a man identifying himself as male called out to Earth. Earth recognized him as another dragon, and unsure of his intentions, he lied, claiming a case of mistaken identity. The reason for his visit likely tied back to Earth's assistance to the little red dragon lady, but he had done his part. He hoped they wouldn't insist on making him a chef again. However, just as he had moved a short distance, a male and the fairy queen intercepted him. It turned out these two had conspired together, forcing Earth to use his flight ability to escape. Seeking a temporary inn to log out, the other two were determined to catch him, but by the time they arrived, he had already secured the room. The following day, Earth logged in to discover the queen had placed a bounty on him, plastering it everywhere. By this point, Earth was furious. He stormed to the palace where the fairy queen resided and kicked the door open. Earth voiced his disappointment to the queen and demanded she remove the ring from his hand. As for the old man named Imel, Earth called him shameless and vowed never to cook for the dragon tribe again. If Imel intended to use force, Earth was prepared to fight. At this moment, Emil revealed his true form, transforming into a dragon. They stepped out onto a grassy field and prepared for battle. Clearly, the two red dragons had previously agreed to keep Earth's involvement a secret, aiding the little lady. Yet now, an old man with blue hair appeared, demanding his servitude. Earth would never accept the dragon race's oppressive mindset. Emil believed it would be shameful to unleash all his power right away, so he allowed Earth to strike first. Earth wasted no time. He drew his bow and fired, but the arrows merely bounced off Imel's scales. Emil then stomped his foot, forcing Earth to leap to avoid the attack. But he quickly retaliated, flying up and delivering a punch that sent Earth crashing to the ground. Despite trying various arrows, none could pierce the dragon's tough hide. He even had to use his shield to block Emil's next strike. While it absorbed some damage, the shield shattered. Recognizing the vast gap in their powers, Earth knew he had to win this fight. He consumed a recovery potion to keep going. As Emil prepared to unleash fire, Earth leaped and hurled all his explosive potions into his mouth. Though Emil was hit, Earth was also on the brink of death. Suddenly, he recalled the skills the fairy queen had taught him earlier. He unleashed 7 lost stars, firing 7 arrows into Emil, followed by 7 planets crashing down, causing a massive explosion. However, despite the devastation, Emil remained unyielding. He soared into the sky and unleashed a gust of wind that swept the ground away. Fortunately, Earth utilized flight and stealth to evade the attack. If this continued, victory would be impossible. Thus, Earth resolved to use the sacrifice bow skill to eliminate Emil. Since the bow would vanish after one use, Earth had only one shot. Previously, the fairy queen had warned him that this skill would drain all his vitality. Even Imel cautioned that using this skill would surely lead to his demise. But Earth was undeterred. He channeled all his vitality into the bow and unleashed a decisive shot, compelling Imel to raise a wind wall. The arrow pierced through the wall, creating a significant wound in Imel's body. Despite his fierce efforts, Imel surprisingly managed to rise and keep fighting. Earth resorted to his final option, a suicide bomb attack to finish the fight. The game publisher was in disbelief that a single player could take down such a formidable dragon. Initially, they believed the explosive oil Earth utilized was excessively powerful and thought about toning it down. However, they soon recognized that it stemmed from Earth's sheer will and resolve. He willingly sacrificed all his possessions and even himself, making this triumph truly earned. Though victorious, Earth had drained all his energy and reverted to spirit form. At that moment, several dragons from the dragon tribe made their appearance. Earth assumed they were there to rescue Imel, but unexpectedly, one dragon approached him and applied something. To his surprise, the dragons intended to resurrect Earth. Not Emil, they expressed their apologies to Earth for the trouble caused by this blue dragon. The red dragon mentioned that Emil had been acting quite insolently of late. He had threatened the fairy queen, prompting her to issue a wanted order for Earth. Today, the dragon tribe aimed to eliminate Emil, but they were astonished to find Earth had already defeated him. Moreover, the tribe leader wished to reward Earth for the meal he had prepared for the little lady earlier. The reward included dragon-scale armor, a heap of gold coins, and a mysterious bow. When Earth donned the armor, he discovered it was incredibly light and highly agile. The bow was the sole artifact from the spirit tribe that the tribe leader had previously confronted. After presenting the gifts to Earth, the dragons made their way back home. Post-battle, Earth felt utterly drained, prompting him to call Pakasha for a ride back. Resting on Pakasha's back, Earth felt thankful for the opportunity to ride. Once in town, Earth purchased another cloak and headed to the Fairy Queen's castle. Her subordinates mentioned that after Earth had gotten angry, she had become quite chaotic. He hadn't anticipated things escalating to this extent. Earth called out her name, informing her that he had heard the tale from the Red Dragon. The Fairy Queen's actions weren't wrong. It was just that Earth had become a bit upset. In truth, he held no hatred towards her. While there, Earth requested her to seal the power of the ring on his hand to avoid drawing attention. Upon hearing this, the Fairy Queen understood and apologized for the trouble she had caused him. Yet Earth bore her no blame. Instead, he thanked her for the myriad experiences she had provided since his arrival. It was also thanks to the Fairy Queen that Earth managed to defeat the Blue Dragon ML. After sealing the ring, Earth bid farewell to the Spirit Kingdom, promising to return one day. Though the journey ahead was long, Earth was determined to savor every moment in this newfound free life game.